You're going to get a double dose of Kentucky windage here in this segment. It's Tuesday, March the 10th. Common sense for the American people. I'm Scott Jennings, broadcasting on Salem. Sitting next to me is the congressman from Kentucky's 2nd Congressional District. His name is Brett Guthrie, and he holds the position, one of the most important policy positions in the Congress, of chairman of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Brett, welcome in.
Thanks. You pointed out today it took me 17 years to get there.
I know.
We're seniority driven, though.
Well, it is an interesting committee because you're dealing with energy, healthcare, things like big tech, and all those issues. Even the name and image likeness stuff in sports. Your committee has
broadcast,
one of the broadest,
streaming. Yes,
the jurisdiction is so broad.
It is absolutely broad, and like we had to deal with the aftermath of Bad Bunny after the Super Bowl with the things that he said, and actually NBC bleeped out the most inappropriate things that he said. But it's amazing the NFL wants that to be their product.
Yeah, it was a strange choice, I think, for a lot of people. Let's talk about the committee and some of the bigger issues that people are worried about. I was talking to a candidate running in a race the other day, and I said, "What's the number one thing you're hearing?" And he said, honestly, it's still health insurance premiums. People are walking up to me and saying, you know, my health insurance keeps going up, but I don't feel like my insurance or my health care is getting any better. Republicans have some thoughts on this. The president last night continues to assail health insurance companies. Where are you on this as part of the Republican agenda?
Well, the current law of the land is the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
We have tried to repeal it. We've tried to change it. We've tried. So when people say their health insurance is going up, it is the Affordable Care Act. So the Democrats are absolutely responsible for ruining, I think, the health care insurance market and where things are increasing. What we're working very hard to do is we want people to be able to see what things cost. It's just such hidden in what things cost, and it's so hidden inside these 4 or 5 companies that an outsider can't develop a new company. Typically, if something gets too expensive and people don't think they're getting the value, they can buy something else. But we want to break into that monopoly, make sure people expose what things cost, and then because every time you just try to put a price control on something, it seems the movie goes somewhere else. We fixed PBMs where you buy a pharmaceutical. You're supposed to get a rebate, where the rebate goes to the company selling the pharmaceutical.
Right.
So we mandated it goes to the client. Well, they set up a client in Switzerland. So if you get to join you got to join their client, and the money goes through Switzerland. And so we want to fix it, and we want to. It's very deliberative, but price transparency is probably the key.
You brought up the issue of prescription drugs there, discussing the PBM reform that wasn't, which by the way was years in the making, and the Republicans and President Trump finally got it done. It seems to me that on the healthcare front, one of Trump's biggest areas of success has been in doing something about the price of prescription drugs. Some of that's been by executive order. Some of it's been by legislation. You agree with that?
You know, what's amazing is how prescription drugs have been flat and then they're increased. Now we have miracle drugs coming on the marketplace that are expensive, fixing hemophilia, the other things that they can do that are expensive because they're personalized medicine, is genetic, more than just like a tablet or a pill. But in just terms of taking medicine, he has really driven down the price.
Let's talk about stuff going on in the tech space, the digital world. We've talked a lot on this show about how in danger children are on a lot of these games and apps and other platforms. Just last week, the Energy and Commerce Committee passed out a bill called the App Store Accountability Act, trying to get a little bit more transparency into what the tech companies are doing to protect children. Because what happens is adults show up in these things.
That's right.
And they groom these kids. They contact the kids, they threaten the kids, and it really puts them in danger.
Well, we had a big debate, like apps have to put if you're going to go on Jim Beam, that's in my district, if you're going to their website, you have to say that you're 21. So the question is, do you just let apps set that up themselves? Here's the problem, that people can just be playing games, and they're interacting with each other. So if there's one called Roblox, a lot of states are suing.
Oh, yeah.
That if you are a child playing on a game, it's a child area, then guess who tries to get online to connect with children? And so we want to make sure that the app stores, the Apples and those others, are responsible for what goes on. They want to have limited exclusion to who gets on their app or who gets on their phone. Well, they need to be responsible for the quality and the quantity of what comes on their phone.
Got about 30 seconds, Brett. You're a West Point graduate and a veteran of the 101st Airborne Division. You're watching Operation Epic Fury unfold. We had a 7th soldier killed in action, and he was from Kentucky.
He's from Glendale, my district.
And in your district. I'm just wondering for your reaction to that and thoughts on the war.
Well, it's just awful. You hate to see these families. My family lost. My dad lost his brother in Korea, so we know how this follows families forever, so my thoughts and prayers are with them. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It
Yes.
cannot. They've been 47 years. You can almost trace everything going on in the Middle East back to Iran. I think eliminating the regime is the right thing to do.
That's Congressman Brett Guthrie. He represents Kentucky's 2nd Congressional District. He lives in Bowling Green, home of the Corvette. And your district
And
is
the
home to
Hilltoppers.
the Hilltoppers. Your district's home to Mammoth Cave and Abraham Lincoln's boyhood
Birthplace
home.
and the bullion, the gold bullion at Fort Knox.
And Fort Knox. It's a really interesting district. Brett, thanks for coming by the show. We're going to take a break.